Unsyndicated presents What the Puck with Sean Baligian.
Yeah, we have to go early tonight. I think you guys can understand why. It might be the last game I see my team play this season. As bright as the future is, and it really, truly is. And yeah, I think it'll be the last game they play this season. We'll wait and see. He's Mike. I'm Sean. He wants to watch hockey. I want to watch hockey. You want to watch hockey. So that's why we're going early here tonight. Mike, I want to start here because we had so much to say about what Steve did and did not do, what Steve said and did not say the last couple of months. And he came out yesterday. A lot of, I got to be honest with you, a lot of the same stuff. I think he saved his fastball for Dylan Larkin. I liked his comment about Dylan Larkin as well. But what were some of the takeaways from Steve Yzerman's chat yesterday?
Yeah, we'll start just with the comment of if Dylan Larkin wishes to tell you what our conversation was about, that is up to you. I thought that was a very strong message of what was said. I thought it was very entitled and just what we've been getting from Steve. It was a lot of attitude, and it seemed like he didn't understand some of the concerns that the questions were asking, and he just kept reiterating a lot of the same things. However, I have to agree with him. We're not going to give up any of those young guys at this point for anything because we're just not there yet. I thought some of the bigger comments might have came from Coach with about the leadership in the locker room. And when the ship starts taking on water, there doesn't seem to be anybody that can help out there.
Yeah, a lot of things jumped out to me, and I agree with what Steve said about the Dylan Larkin thing in regards to this is what we pay the guys for, to provide that spark. But I'm going to repeat what I said to you a few weeks ago. And I still feel that way. And I would also add, if you and I felt the certain way that we did when we heard what Steve Yzerman said on trade deadline day, and again, I've had so many, why are you kissing Yzerman's butt? Why are you? I see what he's doing. So do you. It isn't happening as quickly as we'd like. There's no doubt about that. But he's done a nice job of bringing in some good talent. And more on him bringing in the great talent, because that's something you and I have been banging for quite some time now. But I want you to try to think, Mike. You and I were sitting in the corner of the rink at USA CompuWare Arena, USA Arena. Old habits die hard, and our reaction was, I remember vividly. We looked at each other and we're like, it's almost like he's trolling people now. Like you cannot come out and say we made the moves that we felt were going to put us in the best position to make the playoffs. And if we felt that way, how do you think the guys in the room felt? And I'm not sure. And I know a lot of people have wanted to make it a Dylan Larkin issue. Mike, I'm not so sure it's just a Dylan Larkin issue. And I got to be point blank and honest about that.
I mean, I think some of the stuff we saw on the ice speaks for that, Sean. I mean, there were a lot of dogs out there as the season came to an end, but you can't blame them. You put these guys in this position with all these expectations. They want nothing. It's not like they don't want to make the playoffs. They want to make the playoffs. They're smart hockey players. They know what they need. They know they don't have enough. And then when you don't give them that, the expectation doesn't go off of them. The fans still expect them to win and go out there every night and make the playoffs. So a lot of it falls on them. So I would imagine that entire locker room, anybody that has the character of they want to win, it struck them the same way, if not harder than us.
You know what's interesting was him talking about, and Mike, again, I'm not trying to say that we're on the cutting edge, and I want to say hello to some of the guys. Understood club hockey. Go Habs just for Sean. Thank you, Mike. At least one of us can experience a playoff run. Mike said, I can see why some did not like what Steve had to say regarding Larkin. I like finally seeing some emotion from Steve. Let me also throw this out there. It's not like you and I were doing brain surgery when we were talking about how the Wings need to do something big in free agency. I will say, you and I were a couple of guys in this town where I've had a problem with this town for a long time. We have a tendency to call the average good, and we have the tendency to call the good great. And I've always felt that way. It's always bothered me, and especially when we get in the media. And Mike, I think by the end of this season, a lot of guys that were being called great around here, I think people had to come off that cloud. I think they had to climb down from that mountain. Right now, the Red Wings don't have a star. Today, as I sit here, April 30th. Is there a ceiling yet for Larkin? No. Is there a ceiling left for Raymond? Mike. Is there a ceiling for Casper? Absolutely. Is there a ceiling for ASP? Yes. But right now, today, and this is all I can talk about right now today, there isn't one yet. And I think a lot of people, and it was interesting to hear Steve say it yesterday. I think he threw the term $11 million out there. You know what? Well, we're prepared to go over $11 million and everything. And my response to that, Mike, would be, for who? Whom are you looking at? Because I'm going to say it again, and I'll go down the list in a second, Mike. Other than Mitch Marner, I just don't think there's a ooh factor, a wow factor in the rest of the guys that are going to be FAs on July 1.
Yeah, not on the free agent market. I think you brought up an interesting kind of out there trade proposal. Well, not a proposal, but a thought for like a pasta and stuff like that. That's where they're going to have to do it. But he's already made the statement that he's not going to do it. And I mean, it was also interesting, just his statement of, not only are we willing to do that now, we've always been willing to do that. And that is part of where I agree with that philosophy. Not now. There's no reason to waste that time and money and energy right now on somebody when we're not even close. We're still a couple years away, I think, from that big splash, and that could help you. I mean, I don't have the projections of free agents in 2 years, but that's where I would think a bigger splash in the free agent market would happen for us.
That's where, in you nailed it, Mike. It doesn't necessarily have to be the free agent market. I'm going to say it again. All right. I don't think that Don Sweeney is done paring down the Bruins. I don't think this is the token rebuild, or retool that the Bruins have had for quite some time now, and which has kept themselves so relevant for a while. I have a feeling there's more coming. It could present itself that way. It might not present itself that way. I don't know. But the FA class isn't the only way to do it. You're going to have to show yourself to be, what's the best word I can look for? Creative. I think you're going to have to be creative in this situation.
Yeah, he's going to have to hit one of those home runs that you don't expect on a cheaper end. But let's also not forget, Sean, if his aim is 11 million and that's what that guy's valuation is at, we're paying 13 to 14.
Yep.
We're not a destination anymore. People don't want to come here. He might get a little bit of a, ooh, it's Steve Yzerman thing, but you're still going to pay me $14 million because this is not the spot. So we're going to have to overpay. So your 11 million, if that's your cap on it, is going to be 8 million. And let's, like you said, get creative. Let's go down the list. You need more $4 to $5 million guys than you do 11 to $14 million guys. And he's got to hit those, which Sean, he has not.
No, he hasn't. And so much, somebody asked me, and I forget who it was. I apologize. You know what? If you give me just a second, I can look it up. I thought we had some good dialogue because he said he was watching us and he said, hey, I totally agree with you guys. It was Chris. He said, I totally agree with you guys. We're without a star right now. But you know, at this position, at this point, what can you do? And he said, especially with the, good evening, Tom. He said, especially with the draft picks that we've had. And let's not forget, Mike, Lucas Raymond was a 4. You've had a 6. You've had an 8. You know, it's not like you're all going in the middle of the round and into the second round. And the one thing that I don't think, and I could be wrong, but the one thing I don't think, Mike, unless you can think of somebody, I don't think they've had that stroke of luck yet. I don't think that they had, like him getting Kucherov, where he got Kucherov, like the Habs with Lane Hudson, right? I don't think he's had that stroke of luck yet. That is, in my mind, is a huge component to a lot of successful franchises. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I can't think of anybody taken further down the line where you're just like, oh my gosh, this guy transcended his position. And I think that's a huge factor with Stanley Cup contending teams.
Yeah, he's got his guys that are in the wings that we're aware of. We all know the names, but there's nothing else that's out there. And that's like we're saying though, those guys have to be home runs if you think we're going to be somewhere in 4 years. All those names coming in, Axel, Michael, all these guys, Danielson, have to be home runs coming in because there is really, Sean, there's nothing else. There's some nice pieces there, but again, there's no stars that are going to be able to take this team to the next level.
I love you guys come up with some great questions, and I have a great question. Mike, I want to get to your question here momentarily because I think this is a fantastic question, and it reminds me, and I saw this guy from the time he was 16 in the OHL, Steven Stamkos, and he asked, where'd it go? Where'd the question go? Hold on. See, gosh darn it, Mike, how I paused, the dramatic pause for effect. Serious question. Would you or we have given Stamkos the extra year, and would he have made a big impact? I would have done it. I think Steve wanted to do it. There's familiarity there. Although he did not draft Steven Stamkos, there's familiarity there. Would he have made that big of an impact? I say no. I adamantly, Mike, I say adamantly no. Now, granted, I wasn't locked in on the Nashville Predators this year. I saw them a few times, but just a simple look, 27 goals, 26 assists, 53 points, a minus 36. In fairness to him, Mike, he did stay healthy. He did stay healthy this year, and that was a lingering question. But I think this leads me right into the John Tavares might be the answer crowd, okay? You cannot rely on a high-priced 34, 35-year-old. You can't. What made Patrick Kane special is Patrick Kane was a low-risk, much lower money coming here, and you weren't really losing out on anything. You sign one of these 34, 35-year-old guys, you're taking a chance. And I think a team that wants to continue to build to that, as Steve said, not winning a playoff series, but legitimately keeping and competing for Stanley Cup, you don't want to go spend that kind of money on a Steven Stamkos or a John Tavares at this point. You just don't. Would I have done it, though? Yes, I would have. I really would have. I would have done that last year. I openly admit it.
Yeah, I was on the other end of that one. You just have to use Nashville right now as the poster boy for this. Why Detroit shouldn't be doing that? We're not in that position. The Steven Stamkos, the Marsha show, the guys like that they signed were supposed to take Nashville to that next level. They were supposed to be ready. They were a nice playoff team last year. Let's not forget that. Like Nashville was one of those my dark horses last year. That's what they're ready for. You don't sign a Stamkos to come in here and just correct things. He's not going to correct things. He was not the problem. He did his job. Their defensive play in Nashville was absolutely horrid, as you can see by his minus whatever 5,062 you said. So there were bigger problems. But if you're going to sign, let's just go to Tavares now. Why? What has John Tavares done? Nice hockey player, Sean. I like him. What has he done in Toronto that makes you say that's a guy with the character that I have to have? This is a team that is about to choke out another playoff run at 3-0, Sean. It's looking very familiar to something. That's a guy you want to pay. Like, hey, Hockey Town is saying that? Come on now. Stamkos and Marchessault had that track record. They've won cups. They've made these playoff runs. If you have a team that's ready, those are guys that can try and send you to the next level.
It's interesting. John brought up Sweeney has 1 year on his contract, and I read about this. Allegedly, doesn't Cam Neely, if I'm not mistaken, he said they expect the Bruins to rebuild on the fly. Not sure how it plays out. Pasta could be the next captain, and the price would be huge. This is the point in time I think they're hanging in the Detroit Red Wings circa 2014 era right now. They are. This is, and that I would walk in the room, I'd look the owner right in the eye and say, if you want to suck for the next decade, we can hook this up if you continue to try to rebuild and change on the fly. They don't have the assets anymore. They're not, you can only screw with the cap so long. The cap is eventually going to catch up to you. I would have that conversation, look him straight in the eye and say, I want to do what's best for the Boston Bruins. We are in no position to compete anytime soon. And this is a situation where the cap caught up to us. We had a lot of success. Too bad we only got a cup out of it. And I just, like I said, I think he's smarter than that. I do. I think Don Sweeney's smarter than that. Unless management is telling him, no, we have to get back to the playoff right away. And I think we're all familiar with this scenario like that.
We're swimming in it right now, aren't we?
We sure are. 9 years. It's incredible. The longest streak in Detroit Red Wing franchise history. Yeah. You and I, we weren't old enough to live through darkness with Harkness. I heard the stories about it, but the late 70s were bad and the early 80s were bad. 9 years. It's unbelievable to me, Mike. It's gross that they haven't had a playoff game yet at Little Caesars Arena. It really is. It's amazing.
And let's just let the cat out of the bag. The conversations that we have had, Sean, since the playoffs started is you've asked me and the guy several times, where do you think they are? Are they 9-10? Are they 7-8? Sean, with what we've seen, they're not close to 7-8.
I don't think so.
Now, this is what I'll tell you for Red Wings fans is that the good news is if you're watching that Tampa series, something's wrong. Like I got that one totally wrong. That is one of the most unenthused teams, lackadaisical, can't get anything done teams right now. That maybe their time has come. They peaked a little bit and said, let's give it one more run at the end of the year. So maybe they fall back. But are we going to be that team that jumps up? Not with this roster. Not with this roster.
There's nothing special. Gosh, I got so much to do before we got out here. Mike, like legitimately, we have like 20 minutes. It's unbelievable. Nick said, this isn't the Red Wings I've known most of my life. I don't even know what their identity is. It is not a destination. Certainly not like 2002. Everyone wanted to come here. Couldn't agree with you more. I had that conversation. I won't tell you with who, but I had that conversation. If I said his name, you know who he was. And I honestly said to them, I said, okay, give me a reason why you'd want to come here. And don't tell me Steve Yzerman. Like, seriously, because Steve Yzerman, huh? Man, I want to go to Detroit because of Steve Yzerman. Like, all the respect in the world for his playing career, all the respect in the world for what he did. That isn't a reason why somebody's going to come here. They want to come here because they're going to get the money, they're going to get the term, and they're going to have an opportunity to really compete. Mike, I've been spot on about something the last couple of years. I'm going to pat myself on the back. The division that they're in hurts them as well. There's no doubt in my mind. The division that they're in hurts them, and I think we live that this year. Gosh, I can't wait to talk to you. I want to go around the league in a second because I'm sorry, Mike, we're getting to the point where your Kings, they are the Leafs of the West. You just have to accept it. Let's all move on with our lives and just accept it. They're the Leafs of the West.
Sean, they are so stinking good for 40 minutes. It's unbelievable. That series has actually kept me up. I can't watch all the games, but it's kept me up. And I mean, the problem with it is that, in my opinion, those are right now the two best teams in the West. But the Kings just can't get it done, whether it's coaching or it's a mental block. They can't get out of their own way, Sean, and it's frustrating because when they are in the play and in Edmonton's face playing Kings hockey, they're so stinking good. But you hit it right on the head. Oh.
Mike, the one thing that I have learned in this first round is honestly, and I don't want to say I've learned it because we all knew, it's a subtle reminder. The razor-thin edge between winning and losing in the first round of the playoff. And you can go to each game, and I was talking to our boy Adam at State Champs about this yesterday, whether it be Ekblad, whether it be Tom Wilson, whether it be, a moment can turn a series upside down. Because I'm not lying, I was allowing myself to go down Iavasile Lane the other night when the Habs were up on Sunday, and I'm like, they're going to win this game. They have all the momentum in the world. Dabish is playing really well. Mike, they're going to win this series. I did. I took a walk right down Iavasile Lane. I didn't want to walk down Iavasile Lane, but I took a walk down Iavasile Lane. And, like, honestly, I think you're seeing this in so many of these series. The margin is – hell, even the series that we all thought, and we were right, was going to be incredibly boring, that Devils Hurricane series. Poor Markstrom last night. Mike, they did that. Like, really, the margin is that thin.
They won the 5-on-5 battle and lost that series 4-1, Sean.
Yep.
Like the not being able to contain that power play changed that whole series. A botched Byfield, Quentin Byfield play changed that entire series.
Sorry, like, honest to God, what the fuck freak are you doing there? Honestly, that was one of those things. What's going on in your brain, man?
Yep. And offsides in the Minnesota Vegas game changed that whole game. That series turns right there last night. I mean, all of them. A Tom Wilson hit, Tampa. Oh God, all of them. And we can't even go to Toronto. I mean,
we're gonna go to Toronto. Don't you worry about that, mister. I'm going all Denise Williams on you. I'm going to wait and save the best for last. Don't you worry about that, mister. The Tom Wilson, Josh Anderson thing goes back to my days in the OHL. They had a pretty good battle going on for a couple of years. That 2013 series in particular, there's a history there. There's a history there. So that's let me get through some of these. All About Catering LLC, a full service caterer, graduations, weddings, bridal showers, corporate events, anything you need catering for from 25 to 4,000 people. All About Catering can and will take care of you. Customer service and satisfaction is their number one goal. So don't sweat your next big event, especially it's graduation season. I got a place for you to go. Go to allaboutcateringllc.com to see their menus and all their 5-star reviews, or call them at 586-731-1398 to get your event started. Mike, some more comments. Drew said, I used to give Yzerman a lot of credit because of his draft picks until I realized all his first-round picks are from Europe, and all Steve did was rely on Hawk and Anderson, the best European scout in the league. Yzerman has picked up 0 high-end talent from North America. And you know what the problem is, Drew? Like, again, and I hate to keep saying this, and not that long ago, people got mad at me for saying this, and I don't think too many are getting mad at me. They're a bunch of good players right now. They are. You have a bunch of good players, right? And people would get mad. I mean, Mike, I told you the conversation I had with the guys at Woodward about Mo Sider. Like you won the Calder, and if people around here are talking about, the Norris Trophy in a couple of years, well, don't get mad at somebody when you go, hey, he's nowhere near that level, right? Good player, Mike, right? I like him. But that's a tendency we have in this town a little bit. I don't know. It's just seems like an old bit to me.
Yeah, but again, I mean, if we're gonna go, I mean, the construction of it is you put a star on that team. Let's make this make believe here. You put Pasta on that team right now, okay? And you got a DeBrincat. You've got some nice Raymond up front. What Casper could be. Maybe Danielson comes up here. Now you're starting to look nice. Let's say Axel is everything we think he is, and he's that star on defense. There so it's that, but it's not here now. If you can't look at the last 2 years and what has happened here, it's just not here. And that's not a shot at any of these guys. They're good. They are going to be the core. They just need a star or two to come in.
Yep. I don't think there's any debate about that. Kane was a bargain, frankly, for average almost point per game. I think everybody can agree on that now. Drew said, did you feel the no and no answer by Steve Yzerman when asked about Wallman was disrespectful to the media and the fans, or were you okay with it? I've heard so many things about that. I would lie to you if I said I knew exactly what it was. It didn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense then, and it doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense now. It's the best way that I would say it. Yeah. Fair enough, Mike?
Fair enough. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, whatever you want to say about it. If we don't know, we can't say anything about it. We can say it doesn't make sense, and it's a head scratcher.
Yeah. Red Wings were bad until they drafted Yzerman. It's still so crazy. I remember the day he retired, Mike, and gosh, I was 35, you were 34. And one of the comments that I made on the radio, and so many people like hit me and said, wow, I didn't think about this. Mike, here's a guy that entered our world, our lexicon, when we were like in 6th and 7th grade, right? Like, think about that. And Steve Yzerman was there through all of junior high, all of high school, college age idiocy years, getting married, having kids, et cetera, et cetera. It really is amazing when you think about it. From 1983 to 2006, I mean, think about how many things happened in your life in that 23-year span. Steve Yzerman was there. And even as bad as they were pre-Steve Yzerman, they didn't go 9 years without the playoffs.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Crazy. Hey, let me tell you about Lindsay Broadwell. When it comes time to get yourself a house, whether you're buying or selling or both, you need to contact the right agent. Who do we recommend? Well, that lady right there, Lindsay Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up on the mean streets of Northville and has expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan. She's an expert in all facets of the business, and when it's time to move, our friend Lindsay and her team will make sure that you get the most out of your house and everything goes smoothly when finding your new home. Buyer, seller, first-time buyer, doesn't matter. Make sure you contact Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. She'll help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. Mike, you know what I got today? And maybe if there's a Game 7 on Friday or on Saturday, maybe we can all get together. I didn't know that Kroger put out their own Kroger brand jalapeno and cheddar sausages, and I bought a pack today.
I have not seen those. I have not seen those.
Well, if there's a Game 7 on Saturday, maybe you're going to have to come over and bring the boys over, and we'll have those and do our little Game 7 chat.
I will be there. I've got nothing on the schedule, and I will make sure we'll know soon enough if there's a Game 7. So I'll be able to stop at the butcher, and I will bring that loaded Italian.
Oh yes, that was good.
So good.
So good. You know, if you happen to be in the neighborhood, don't be afraid to pick up those firecracker sausages either. You know what? I bought 6 more Durocs today for the record.
I'm going to buy them every time. I've got 6 in my. I just finished the leftovers tonight. I have 6 in my freezer right now because I bought you 4, and you already bought some, so I kept them. But I will actually. You're going to have to. You're the brain of this operation. Tomorrow at about 5:00, send me a text to pick up firecracker. I'm going to dinner in downtown Milford.
Okay. You don't have to twist my arm for that. Those things are so damn good. Gosh.
I'm going to a restaurant that I'm going to get the jambalaya, and it is the Village Butcher's andouille, which I say is the best andouille in the league.
Our boy Hubie said, Mike, you got it wrong. I had Tampa going to the Cup final.
It's right here. I had him in the final against Edmonton. That's awful.
Really bad. It was funny. Mike said we sent Blashill to sabotage Tampa, and it worked.
It worked.
Mike said, I've never rooted for Montreal in my 70 years of following hockey, but I'm pulling for them in this series. Go Habs. Thank you, Mike. That's nice. You guys assuming London and Oshawa don't go Windsor here, both up 3-0. Will Oshawa give London a good series? No, the series are over at 3-0. I don't think so. London's a wagon. I think, sorry, no offense. I know we know some Oshawa people, but Mike, I don't.
I'm hoping our Oshawa people get some tickets and head out to a game. Brooks Rogowski with a big third period goal the other night.
You see, Jason's making gumbo tonight.
Ooh.
Some gumbo up in Escanaba. You know that shit's good.
Oh, it's good. Because you know it's still snowing up there.
Yes. I'm going to get to the Leafs in a second. Mike, you know what's really weird? There are no Leaf fans in here. Have you noticed the last couple of weeks they've been very chirpy? Where'd you guys go? Where? It is unbelievable. I'm sorry. It's unbelievable. Hey, listen, if you're ready to take charge of your financial future, well then look no further. than the Wealth Advantage Group. Located in downtown Northville and owned by those two guys, two brothers with over 20 years of industry experience. Those handsome fellas understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are. And that's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help navigate the complexities of financial planning. Now, whether you're saving for retirement, getting ready to sell your company, you're already in retirement, doesn't matter. These are guys that can guide you through every step of your financial journey, no matter where you are on the path. They work with clients throughout all stages of life and have clients in over 20 different states. The handsome brothers, Mike Husak on the left and Jeff Husak on the right, understand that the investment world is complex. So if you're ready to start taking your finances more seriously, why don't you work with the experts? Reach out to my buddies at the Wealth Advantage Group at 248-773-8574 or visit their website at www.thewealthadv.com. Nick, putting the musical notes up there. You went and saved the best for last. Mike, I don't even know what to say. Okay, because here it is. And you remember we talked about this in 2021 and a few times since then. The core four, okay, disappeared in the big moment, except for one guy, Willie Nylander. Like, seriously, we've seen this time and time and time again. And Mike, it's one thing to disappear, and Lord knows they have a chance to change the tune. And I'm going to be intrigued to hear your answer in whether or not they will. It's one thing to disappear. It's another thing to be downright awful. And all those guys were downright awful yesterday. All of them across the board. You don't believe me? Go look at the plus minuses. Go watch the game. Mike, it is incredible. Like, I hate, there's something in the water up there. Maybe they're getting bad water out of Lake Ontario or something. We know about the Charmony soft stuff, but Ottawa was dead and buried, man. They really were. How much of a pulse do they have right now?
I don't know, Sean, because it's not, you can have a bad game. You can have an off night. I don't care if you're Austin Matthews or who you are. It's the body language, the looks on the face, the softness. This is getting into the character of who they are as players. And I don't think they can shake this. Like, I still cannot believe that they're going to lose to Ottawa. Okay. I just can't get there just yet.
I'm with you.
I can't. But going on, they've got to go. They're chanting, "We want Florida." Are you kidding me? Florida is playing awful, and they have what it takes. Look what they just did. Skate on the throat, knives in the back, take Tampa down. Like, they have what it takes. They don't. I was more concerned just looking and just hearing the stuff, like even Leafs fans, like when Matthews is breaking his stick, like, don't do that so hard and you're going to hurt yourself. Like, the guy's just getting hurt and he's blocking shots with his hands, and all of a sudden, is that an issue? Like, how soft can we be? But again, I can't get there.
I'm with you
with the Ottawa loss. But
I'm
so there, a name from the past, you'll know the name, Owen Dawson. Mm-hmm. He stayed with us last night because he's skating with someone, Kim Muir in town, and and he was just looking at me.
Shout out to Kim. Hi, Kim.
His eyes were this big because he was out on the deck watching the game with me, and I just kept looking at him. First time I've met him, right? And I'm like, are they going to do this again? And like having this conversation me and you would have. Owen didn't know what was going on right now. He's like, are you all right? I'm like, they can't do this.
It's incredible. Not this series. Not as shocked as I was in 2021. Like, Mike, you know the routine. Like, honestly, I thought when the Habs won Game 6, and I hope you remember this, I was like, okay, they're winning the series now. Like, I knew when it was going back to Toronto, they were going to win that game. I knew it. You could see it. I've seen that look before. And that's what scared me the most at the end of that game. Mm-hmm. As our boy, do you remember Aaron Diamond? Shout out, Livonia legend. They looked defeated. I was stunned. That's the shit that should scare every Maple Leaf fan or Maple Leaf. That, like, honestly, that should scare the shit out of you. And I did talk to a couple guys today. I don't know if they'd appreciate me mentioning their names, and they were already in full defeatist mode. Yes, it's happening again. Yeah, no, like forget about is it happening again? No, it is happening again. I'm with you. I'm not ready to go there yet. If Ottawa goes back to Ottawa and wins there, I can't. Right? Then Mike, it's over. Right? Then it's over.
Yeah.
All right.
That look, and that's what I was talking about, Sean. That look on the faces, I'm like, oh my God. They think it's over. It's in there. They were thinking of it again. It's not, we can't do this. It wasn't that look, a determined look of we can't. It was, we're doing this again.
Yeah.
This is happening. And it's then it is bled into the play. I just can't.
Jason said an off night. Every playoff game is an off night. 1967, bitch. I've heard that. All right, we got to get out of here. Just programming note, Mike. So if there are a slew of game sevens, let's figure out. I mean, you want to come over, I'm guessing, right? I hope you do, pal. So we can eat. Yeah, we'll do something on Saturday. Todd, we'll touch up with you. I have to work tomorrow. I'm a professor. So you guys can all laugh if you want. You guys, if you can get a good laugh out of that. I'm actually doing a speech class at the local community college, the Hallowed Halls of Schoolcraft. So I have a speech class tomorrow. I can hit you over the head with this shovel because I'm from Livonia. That's right. Back to the
I love it.
So Todd, if we can do something after 9:30, okay with you, Todd? Okay, cool. Hey, did you know that thousands of Metro Detroiters have already called Legacy Partners to get help with their home and auto insurance? Our friends at Legacy are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents, and they provide a full-service, one-stop solution for all of your insurance needs, personal and business, large and small. Legacy has helped our listeners by fixing mistakes other agents have made, asking the right questions to get the right coverage put in place to properly protect you, and yes, help save you some money. Isn't that what it's all about? Chances are, if you haven't checked your policies in the last year, you're probably paying too much and you could be underinsured. So what are you waiting for? Give Legacy a chance to help with your home, your cars, life insurance, Medicare enrollment, or your business insurance needs. Call them today at 586-209-4106 or visit legacypartnersins.com to get started with your new quotes. Aaron, go Habs. Mike Cusack, one half of the Hanson brothers, says, God save our kids. I don't blame you. You know what? So, Mike, seriously, I'm doing a public speaking course and I'm doing a voice acting course for them.
Ooh, I like it. You are officially on the map.
Well, you know how I've done those commercials over the past, and I know how to change my voice a little bit. All right, go Habs. This will be their last game of the year, so you'll be done with me talking about them and everything. Mike, do you think it's over? Truthfully?
Nope.
Really,
they're the better team. They're the better team.
Iverson Lane again. Are you happy?
They're the better team.
Iverson Lane. All right, see you guys. God bless you. Bye-bye.
What the Puck with Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Always Pushing Forward by Elliot Middleton. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.